that attendance isn't going to be great for a while. I think there's just going to be a natural human instinct to not try to gather in crowds. I hope that's not true. I'm one that loves to go to college football games on Saturday when I can, and anytime I can get out there to see a sporting event, not being able to go to the Royals, even though they're 3-7, is killing me. Because I want to go watch the Royals play. But I think it's natural to assume that live sporting events are going to take a hit from the attendance standpoint, even when counties say that it's all clear, good for you to go back, just because it's going to be a human instinct to stay away probably. But so that's why we've got to get creative from a streaming standpoint. We also need to get creative from a digital ticketing standpoint. I think the more options you can make to streamline processes to go to a game, as far as buying my ticket online, come in this one gate that I know I can get into, and they're going to limit the traffic in the gate, a one in, one out type situation. I can sit in this seat. I think they're going to help our spectator outlook. It's just we got to start thinking about doing those things and keep building momentum towards them.
I think the idea of buying tickets online will be a benefit down the road to the fan experience. No long lines, less people that have to work that. As we all know, a lot of volunteer efforts are put into sports somehow. So if we can figure out ways to eliminate some of that stuff, that's good. But we still want you buying the ticket and coming to the game as well.
Yeah, I think the digital ticket aspect is not new, right? We've been buying tickets online for years. But it is fairly new to high school. There's not a lot of high school events that are strictly a digital ticket atmosphere. We've started doing it at our state swimming and diving championships, and the reception is really well. People enjoy the convenience factor, and when you take in the virus situation, I think people will enjoy that component even more, hopefully.
Well, and even in high school sports, the fan experience is as important as the what's going on the field as well. I mean, those are the people that pay the way for this to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know that's a big concern for administrators at every school. It's probably not completely this way, but a large amount of schools will tell you that the fall ticket sales and gate revenue that they get in the fall will fund a lot of their spring or a lot of their winter. So it is a concern for people, and I think they're going to get creative on how to make up that financial loss, if there is any. Hopefully there's not, but I think it's natural to start thinking of creative ways to get that back.
So how will you guys handle games like if in volleyball, all of a sudden you're coming up on your third match and the team you're supposed to play comes down with, the COVID. So that game gets canceled. Will that go down as a no contest? Will that team that got COVID have to forfeit? How will KSHSAA look at those?
Right now we're looking at it as a no contest. So if you can't play because of the coronavirus situation where you have a positive test that doesn't allow you to play, then it'll be a no contest.
Okay. And I mean, I was, obviously for me more football because we have less games and with, but for seeding for the postseason and, those type things. Right. Like if one team plays 5-6 games and another team gets all 9 in, how does that work? And, are you guys still kind of sorting through how that's going to look?
Yeah, we're still, especially from a football standpoint, we're still sorting through how a standings or a final standings will come together. So we're still trying to formulate how that will fully look, have a pretty good idea, obviously, how it'll look. Obviously, when you get in the playoffs, you're going to have a winner and a loser, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to have one to advance on the bracket. So when it comes to that situation, there's obviously someone's going to be told some bad news. It happened in Iowa. You notice high school baseball and softball, they play in the summer anyway in Iowa. And the number 1 ranked baseball team in Iowa, their coach, I believe, or I don't want to break any news, but I think their coach got it, and that shut down their team for 14 days, and so they were out of the tournament. and it's unfortunate. I don't even want to think about that situation going forward, but the reality is we're going to have to.
Yeah, I started my coaching career in Iowa, and so I still know some people up there, and I actually heard about that, and there was a lot of upset people about, them getting kind of eliminated from the tournament. But like you said, somebody's just got to make that decision, and I mean, you got to go what's safe for everyone, not just what's best for that one team.
Well, and hopefully we don't have a bunch of stop start throughout the year of 2020, 2021. As we all remember, March 12th, 13th, and 14th of last year very well, and Gary and I actually broadcasted the state quarterfinals out in Blue Springs for Missouri, and that was my last remembrance. I think it was March 12th. Texas A&M Texas Tech girls were down here at Hy-Vee Arena practicing before their game over at the Sprint Center or Municipal, and remember hearing crying coming from down on the court in our studio. I mean, it was just a shock to us what happened, and hopefully we just don't go through that stop start thing throughout the 2020-2021 season.
Well, if nothing else is true, the mantra that every coach tries to get a kid to realize is play every play like it could be your last. It's never rained more true than we've seen in the last 6 months, and it'll be something you can certainly continue to preach going forward.
Absolutely. Is there anything else from a state activities standpoint that you would like to share or get out there, maybe clear up, because you monitor the social media? Maybe there's some misconceptions out there. Is there anything that you want to say or kind of clear up here as we begin to wrap things up?
No, I think you did a good job covering it all. Just remember that the board came with what we believe are really good considerations for schools to follow for practice and play in the fall. Those are posted online. Look at those and see what we can do to best mirror those. I know the question has been asked a lot on social media is, well, how do we know that school A is going to be following them when we're school B and we're doing everything we can to follow? And the reality of the situation is we don't, right? I'm a golf guy. When I step on the course, I expect those people playing with me and those playing in the other tournament to follow the rules and keep the integrity of the game solid. So that's what we would expect all schools to follow, because as soon as someone starts slipping up, we'll see the effects of that. And I don't think anybody wants to be that person. And then, lastly, I would just say that we're going to do everything we can. We are continuing to do everything we can to play our fall championships. That is our goal. But we also need to realize that participation needs to be key. And we need to, just like I said, we need to prepare and play like every game could be our last, even though we want to see it through the end of November. There's no doubt about it.
Well, Gary, we've had a number of golf guys on the show. I'm a former golf pro myself, played a little on the mini tours, and I think it's time for a Midwest Mike's UClick TV golf tournament and get all you guys involved. It'd be a fun time. Hey, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saved the day for the XFL. I don't know if you heard that yet, but what do you think about that news?
I haven't really read too much about it. I just saw that it was a quote-unquote rock solid deal. So,
since my counterpart's not here, I'm going to ask his favorite question. He always says it's the toughest question that we ask anybody that comes on the show. We ask everybody. But when you're in Kansas City and you're going to get barbecue, where's your go-to spot and what's your go-to dish?
I'll two answers. Number one, I really want to try Q39. I've heard tons about it. I want to try that, but I never have. But so if I'm driving and I've got to go where I know I'm comfortable, it's probably the Z-Man at Oklahoma.
There you go.
Kansas City Joe's.
Yeah. Well, KC Joe's. That's a popular answer.
If you go to Q39,
yeah, I know it is.
If you go to Q39, be prepared for a non-barbecue atmosphere, though. It's really good barbecue, but it's a little upscale.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good to know.
Yeah, it is.
I'll button up the shirt a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little more, upscale, but nothing necessarily wrong with that. Just, but the food there is good. Kind of like your Jack Stack atmosphere, similar to that.
I got you. Okay.
In my opinion.
Drew Gooden last year at the Big Three was asked his favorite barbecue place, and he said, Gates has let me down. It's Q39, baby. So I know you're a K-State guy,
really?
but that's a pretty high salute to Q39 from Drew.
I would say growing up, it was always, whenever, when I was a kid, going to Kansas City was vacation. Because, not that it was that far away, it just was. So
yeah.
It seemed like we always went to Gates or Arthur Bryant's, the original Arthur Bryant's. I'll never forget that, going there for the first time. Just getting your food in like a brown paper was interesting. But it was really good.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite places to still go is, that original Arthur Bryant's down there. It's, they haven't changed much over the years, and just the atmosphere there, I think you can't beat it. But, there's good barbecue at all these spots we're talking about.
Yes.
But
the best ribs you can have, though, if I have to brag, are on my smoker. On
your smoker? Uh-oh. Well,
yeah,
you're gonna have to bring some of those up to the studio sometime, Kansas City, and we're gonna have to put that to the test.
We'll get Dr. Brandon Martin from the athletic director at UMKC or Kansas City Brews against Jeremy Holaday on a smoke-off contest, and we'll have a live Midwest Mike show to cover.
Live, yeah, and I get to eat all the ribs. You guys just get me with the barbecue sauce all in my beard and everything. I look like a hot mess, but it's all right because I'm eating barbecue, right?
Yeah. Well, the best barbecue sauce I think out there is made in Kansas City. Mitch's. Gosh, dang, what's it called?
Mitch's?
Yeah, Meat Mitch. Mitch Benjamin.
Meat Mitch, yes, Meat Mitch.
Meat Mitch.
Did you know this
I'll have to try that.
Did you know this about Mitch? He was the tailor-made rep for years.
No, I didn't. Yeah. I just recently got into the Meat Mitch sauce, and my family's pretty much convinced it's about the only thing you can
you could get your new back in the day you could get your new driver or your irons from Mitch and barbecue sauce along with it. You would have been happy.
That guy's living the life.
Yeah, I recently purchased a smoker and did my first pork butt this last weekend. So, I guess it was good. My wife and we had a couple friends over. We had just bought a small one, and there were no complaints while everybody was eating. So, I guess I did all right with it.
That's good.
Yeah, but we'll get better. But all right, well, Jeremy, thanks for coming on the show today. We appreciate it to kind of clear some of those things up and just talk about the tough times that KSHSAA has had over the last few months, and hopefully here's to a smooth fall, right?
Yeah, keep working hard. You as coaches, I know, are in one of the toughest situations you've ever been in if you've been coaching for a while, and same with those teachers and school administrators. So keep your heads up, and we'll be better for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks again to Jeremy Holaday from KSHSAA joining us today on the show. Another excellent interview, excellent guest lined up by Mr. Jim Bly. So we appreciate that. Jim did mention the Rock buying the XFL. We have talked about XFL a lot here on the show. Austin and I are big fans of it. We're also big fans of the Rock, and I feel like anything he touches turns to gold. So, I'm looking forward to, they haven't announced all the details of that yet or if we're going to get to see it this coming spring. We don't know any of that stuff yet, but it has been purchased. It's out of bankruptcy, and so maybe we'll see it here on our televisions this coming spring.
Well, Gary, I think I'll do a little research out there, see how long the longest pro team other than the NFL or AFC or NFC have lasted, and we'll have to come up with that number and say, here's your point, Rock. You've got to make it past these amount of years if it's going to be successful, because it's been tried since probably the AFC and